What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, man. My fault. I'm a couple days late, But we got a lot of announcements. We got a lot of recaps of Project Bride Prime show. We going all the way up. Let's get to it. Hope everybody doing well.
But I'm from the motherfucking north, nigga.
The man asked me, why didn't my man, I didn't know who he was talking about at first.
Ain't no other side like the motherfucking north, nigga.
So watch this nigga, bro.
We the face of this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm really from the north, I was raised around snow. It's really in my blood, whole family sold coke. Wheat Timberlands, brand new Pelly coats. The pop in my cup, got a nigga moving slow. This ain't the East Coast, we got a whole different flow. Stepping on a brick, finna break a nigga toe. I-96, we ain't afraid to hit that road. Michigan, you know what's up when I say it's on the flow. North.
This the motherfucking north. This the motherfucking north. This the motherfucking north. This the motherfucking north.
Everybody got a bag.
This the motherfucking north.
Dog shit in the stash.
This the motherfucking north.
Hey, do you know where you at?
This the motherfucking north.
It ain't just a podcast.
Keep your eye on the north. Fuck Doggy Ball and thought this was. Yeah. Keep your eye on the north.
So watch this nigga, bro. I didn't know who he was talking about at first.
What's going on? What's going on, man? The Project by Prime show. We back. Intro just rocked out. Keep your eyes on the north, man. This Prime segment, man. I got a lot of recaps, a lot of crazy announcements. You know what I'm saying? I'm a couple days late, but we gonna get to it.
And that's how you give it to a nigga, real uncut and real uncut and real uncut and raw. Real uncut and raw with facts. And I don't like to say excuse me, my nigga, but I don't like to say excuse me, my nigga, but I don't like to say excuse me, my nigga, but pardon my back.
Yeah, man. The first recap we gonna do. Shout out to boxing. Boxing had a great weekend for boxing, man. Super great fucking weekend, man. We had the PBC card, man, with David Benavidez and David Morrell as the main event. Super great fight, man. Shouts out to both of them young men. A great undercard with Isaac Pitbull Cruz and Stephen Cool Boy Fulton. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to speak about that first. I don't know who all caught the fight, but if you caught it, great for you. I definitely watched it. And, first I want to say, first, they had the prelim cards was great too. Shout out to Cormel Moton, uppercomer, under Floyd, did great. The first fight I'm really going to speak about is Isaac Pitbull Cruz, man. Cruz, man, he's a superstar, but Cruz gonna have to step it up, man. It just, he won, but I don't know, man. I think Cruz might have been exposed, you know what I'm saying, after fighting El Rayo, Venezuela. He outboxed Cruz, took his belt some months back. And, I thought Cruz would at least learn how to adapt, you know what I'm saying, figure something new out for himself. But as it stands, it's like Cruz might be, I think Cruz need to go back to 135, man. It don't look like he carried his power over to 140 because he was hitting dude with everything but the kitchen sink. And it just wasn't dropping dude. Dude got a nice chin on him, but, he made a rally for Cruz, man, that made it very tough. I think Cruz need to go back to 35. I also think that the hype then got to Cruz, because if you go watch Cruz versus Tank, he had very good boxing skills, very good defense. I don't know if it was because they was the same height, but I think that the hype got to him to where he feels like he needs a knockout and he's always going to go for the knockout. And it just ain't been looking good for him at 140. So I think Cruz might need to go back to 135 because at 140 he's kind of been exposed. And if he goes up, if he fights a lot of the elite fighters at 140 like T.O., Ryan, Haney, it's not going to be too good for him, and it's starting the show. With all respect to Cruz, I fuck with Pitbull. but he might got to change his game plan up, honestly. But it was a good fight, man. Them boys was banging out. He won. He won the new Spanish or Mexican belt that they made. So shout out to him. And then you had Stephen Cool Boy Fulton versus what was his name? I forgot his name, but they fought before a couple years ago and Steven beat him. But I don't know, man. Like, Steven won convincingly, but I don't know. It's like Steven ain't really been looking the same since he lost to Inoue. And you know, they do say once you really get knocked out, you never be the same. You know what I'm saying? So it does get kind of iffy with that. But you know, like I don't know, man. Steven just ain't been the same since the Inoue fight. But shouts out to him because he did go viral. He came in there with the jean shorts, with the boxing Timberland boots. That was kind of dope. You know, he utilized his defense very well. Oh, that's what he fought. I think he fought Brandon Figueroa. He used his defense very well. I don't know how Brandon Figueroa got 2 belts. I got to go see who he won them belts from because he was looking terrible in there. And he had no power, no skill for real. It was just kind of weird. You know, and Steven won that super, super convincingly. And, you know, shouts out to Stephen Cool Boy Fulton from Philly. He doing this thing. Keep doing your thing. Two-weight class world champion. Much respect to him. Now let's get to the main event. David Morrell versus David Benavidez. One, I'm going to say this. David Benavidez is what's boxing been missing, man. David Benavidez knows how to sell the fight. Truth be told, he's kind of like the most entertaining nigga in boxing. He knows how to sell the fight. And also, if you want to be real with David Benavidez, he's been fighting the best of the best for the past years. Like, you have to give David his respect. You know what I'm saying? Canelo doesn't want to fight him. And I'm not going to say Canelo's scared because these are professional boxers. So I don't think scared runs in their blood. But you got to look at David's last fights. Caleb Plant, Anthony Durrell, David Morrell, who else? And all the challengers and all the top, David Lemieux, like, man, he's fucking phenomenal, man. Like, super, super, super phenomenal. And I gotta give David his respect. You know what I'm saying? When Alexander Gosnick, you know what I'm saying? A world-class fighter that was in the class with Loma and Usyk in the Olympics. David beat him too. You know, it wasn't his best performance. He said his hands was hurt, but he beat him. You know, and like David is really fighting all top competition. If he's not in the top 10 pound for pound, it's kind of insane. And he just put himself in a position by beating David Morrell to be the mandatory for the winner between Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol, which that would be great. But to get into the fight, man, it was just incredible. You know, these two young boys, 27, 28 years old, you know, they displayed their talent. They put on a great fucking show. David did great. His veteranness showed. But I got to give a super, super shout out to David Morrell. You know what I'm saying? We never seen nobody stand in front of David like that. We never seen nobody stand up in front of David like that. We never seen somebody take David's power that well. I believe he knocked David down in like the 10th or 11th round. It wasn't a super crazy knockdown. Some people say it's not a knockdown, but David was off balance. A couple times he rocked David in there. A couple times Morrell was hurt. I didn't agree with ref taking a point with Dave from Morrell. But man, the fight was just so fucking amazing, man. Watching them big boys bang, and for them niggas to be at light heavyweight, man, they in there moving like welterweights, man. It's kind of fucking crazy. It was such a beautiful thing to watch. This is what boxing needs. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to them two young boys, man. The fight was just fucking phenomenal. You know, David worked his jab. You know, Morrell was catching David with some crazy shots. David definitely was catching Morrell with some crazy. Benavidez was catching Morrell with some crazy fucking heavy shots. I think the deciding factor was David is very experienced by turning pro at 16. And, you know, he really utilized the body, you know, to try to break Morrell down. You know, and Morrell rallied. I think Morrell kind of started late, but I think that that was just a mistake of not being that experienced. In the beginning, they started out banging. I think Morrell should have used his feet more. It was a couple times Benavidez was hurt. Morrell didn't push. Maybe because I think Morrell didn't push because I felt Morrell was kind of out of gas and David still had his power. So for Morrell to go them 12 rounds, it was very smart on his behalf to not get overwhelmed and get himself knocked out. You know, and you know, they shook hands as they should, and it was fucking crazy, man. Like, if y'all didn't watch that fight, y'all was losing, like super losing, man. So shout out to David Benavidez and David Morrell. I honestly believe that could be fight of the year. Them boys was going crazy. Another fight that I want to talk about is Claressa Shields, man. Shout out to fucking Claressa Shields. Shout out to Flint. Shout out to Michigan. Baby girl did her thing like she always do. I fully support it. Watch the fight. The fight before the co-main event was like the worst, most embarrassing fight ever. It was so fucking hilarious. But in her fight, man, she did phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And that girl can bang, man. That girl can fight, man. Like, if she don't get her props and respect, it's just kind of crazy. You kind of hating. You know, she done collected so many belts. She been on top for so many years. And for them to say Amanda Serrano is the most accomplished woman fighter is kind of crazy because of her numbers, man. She's fighting on Jake Paul undercard, which everybody know Jake Paul's numbers go crazy. Can she do that on her own? No disrespect to her, but dog, Claressa Shields got it on lock. It's like nothing to debate. You know what I'm saying? The last round, in like the last 20 seconds, she hit baby girl with a counter, damn near floored her, damn near knocked her head off her shoulders. It was crazy. And even before that, she kept hurting her. Her experience, just her heart, man, her skill level, her stamina, her training, man, is just so phenomenal, man. Shout out to Claressa Shields. Much love. Keep doing your thing. You deserve bigger fights. I hope Turkey Al-Sheikh throws you on some type of big card because you need to be in front of the world. Shouts out to her. Shouts out to both of the I'm from Grand Rapids, so I do want to give a shout out to both of the Grand Rapids fighters that was on the card. Suggs did his thing again, whip dog all the rounds, punished him, knocked him out, I want to say in like the 7th. Easy work, man. Shout out to him. He been working, been trying to get his name up, and you know, good things are in the future for him. And shout out to Pagan, man. Keep doing your thing, man. Much respect to both of them fighters coming from Grand Rapids. Much love, man. And I hope, you know, y'all continue to rally and push through and get to where y'all want to be. The one crazy announcement that I do want to say for boxing before we move on. Canelo and Crawford, September 15th, man. It's going the fuck down, man. September 15th, Crawford and Canelo. I'm a super Crawford fan, and I'm a super Canelo fan. I've been a Canelo fan since he started. I'm a super Crawford fan, and I just think that this is going to be a super great fight. You know, it's a lot of talk, you know what I'm saying, about this may be too much for Crawford, but, you know, a lot of people don't know shit about boxing. In the words of Roger Mayweather, rest in peace, man. But, you know, let's wait. Like, I really want to weigh the pros and cons in front of the people. You know what I'm saying? If we talking about Crawford and Canelo, everybody keeps acting like Canelo is just bigger than Crawford. He's not bigger than Crawford. Crawford's taller. Crawford has a longer reach. Canelo's just heavier than Crawford. People have to understand that he's just heavier than Crawford. So it would be far-fetched if Crawford moved to 168 to fight David Benavidez. Now that would be too much. David Benavidez 6'2", 6'3". He's huge. You know what I'm saying? He's taller, he's bigger. That's what you call bigger and taller. But when you speak of Crawford and Canelo, Canelo's not bigger than Crawford. He's just heavier. Another thing too is you have to look at competition wise. Crawford knockout ratio at 147 at welterweight was 100%. If you look at Canelo's really haven't been fighting the best fighters at 168 in the past few years because David Benavidez has. So you have to look at the competition level too. And this is not taking anything away from Canelo. Like, everybody says it's a money grab for Crawford because he's going to 154 to 168. But nobody said it was a money grab for Canelo when he went straight from 160 fighting Triple G to 175 and fighting Rocky Fielding and Sergey Kovalev. Nobody said it was a money grab then. And then when he thought it was sweet up there, he ran into Dimitri Bivol and got washed. And you know, when he got washed, it was, I was daring to be great. You know what I'm saying? But nobody said it was a money move. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, Canelo hasn't been fighting the best. Hasn't been fighting the best competition, because if he was, he would have rematched Dimitri Bivol. He hasn't asked for that. He just recently asked for it again when he said he wanted to fight Dimitri Bivol if Dimitri Bivol beats Artur Beterbiev. But he never asked for the Artur Beterbiev fight. These are facts. You know what I'm saying? And Artur Beterbiev is the number one at 175. So why would he fight Dimitri Bivol and not Artur Beterbiev? Because it's a stay in your lane type of thing, man. You better stay at 168. We've seen what happened with Bivol, and we definitely know what's going to happen with Artur Beterbiev. But nobody says it's a money grab when Canelo does these things. And another fact people don't look at is, bro, Canelo just recently fought a 154-pounder in Jermell Charlo. And Jermell Charlo went in there too, just survived, and he survived. Canelo didn't knock him out. And we all know that Jermell Charlo didn't want no parts of Crawford after he fought Spitz. And we all know that Crawford is a 5 to 10 times better boxer than Jermell Charlo. His knockout ratio is higher and all of that. He's way more accomplished. So it's like, people have to understand and stop trying to knock Crawford and give him his respect. It's not a money grab. It's the best fighting the best. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I love about Crawford is he never showed what his walking around weight is. So his walking around weight might be at 170. And if you want to get more specific, when he just fought Madrimov rehydrated to 175. So he just fought a dude at 175. But even though it was at 154 pounds, Madrimov came in fight night at 175. So, and we seen what happened there. You know, people try to rally and say Bud looking uncomfortable. Once again, people don't know shit about boxing, because if you go watch Israel Madrimov is a very aggressive fighter. He throws a lot of power punches. He did not want to engage with Crawford. He barely worked his jab. You know what I'm saying? And Crawford beat him clearly. I had it 8 rounds to 4, and I rewatched the fight damn near 15 times. But it's like, man, shout out to Crawford, because the disrespect he gets is kind of crazy to say that Canelo might be too much for him. At the end of the day, Canelo has been knocking out 168ers, but look at the fighters he's fighting. Edward Berlanga has never been a champion. You know what I'm saying? Edward Berlanga does not have the boxing skill and IQ of Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Look at Ryder, John Ryder. coming off multiple losses. He's not a Crawford at all. We're talking about the man who's arguably the #1 boxer in the world, the best in the world. So you have to look at the competition level. Jaime Munguia just got floored and completely knocked out by a bum. I'm not gonna say a bum, but a no-name nigga we never heard of. So Jaime Munguia is definitely not a Crawford. He's definitely not. None of these fighters are in top 10. You know what I'm saying? The last top 10 fighter that Canelo fought was Bivol, and we see that what happened. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand what's really going on there. And you know, given with all respect to Crawford, if Crawford can't take Canelo's power, then that will be the biggest issue. But if we're talking strictly boxing skill, Crawford can beat Canelo. You know what I'm saying? If you know boxing, Canelo has always had problems with fighters that move their feet and throw punches in bunches. Hence, Eris Lowry Londa, which everybody thought that Canelo lost that fight. Clearly. You know what I'm saying? He had problems with Floyd. He was bigger than Floyd. He still had problems with Floyd. You want to, even with Triple G, everybody knows Canelo didn't win all those fights with Triple G. So let's get that clear. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about somebody who's undefeated, and we're talking about somebody who has multiple losses. We're also talking about Crawford in the man who beat the man. Everybody made excuses for Spence, but Spence beat a prime Danny Garcia after the car crash. He beat a Udanis Ugas badly after the car crash. And truthfully, we've never seen a champion, especially a champion of 5 years, who's arguably a Hall of Famer. We've never seen a champion get beat like that, ever. It's never happened in that fashion. Like, we never seen a champion get whooped that badly in that fashion. And Crawford put Errol Spence's legacy in question of, was Earl ever that good? And I'm not going to take away from Earl, because I don't think a lot of other fighters would have been able to beat Earl. But with that being said, man, like, we have to stop the Crawford hate, man. Give him his respect that he deserved, that he has earned, and stop acting like he doesn't have a chance in the world to beat Canelo. We're not going to do that, because truth be told, Canelo ain't been wanting to fight David Benavidez for 5 years. For 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's because, truth be told, Canelo feels David Benavidez is too big. That's why he got in the interview and said David Benavidez doesn't bring anything but 20 extra pounds come fight night. Because we've seen what happened with Dimitri Bivol. Too big, too fast.